This episode of GuildCast is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV.
GameBreaker TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to GuildCast episode 84 for August 28th, 2013. You're watching GameBreaker. I'm Gary again, and coming up on today's show, we talk about this patch and the next, the removal of culling in PvE, and a major screw-up with Karma. All that and more. But first, the bog otter himself, Mr. Richie Procopio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and I'd just like to wish Guild Wars 2 a very happy birthday. Yes,
Isn't it crazy? It's a year.
It's nuts. I can't believe it.
Where did a year go? Like,
time flies when you're having fun.
Seriously. Joining us is Mr. Matt Visual. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
It's Wednesday. GuildCast. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year, man. I saw that posted up, and it was like, Guild Wars 2, 1 year anniversary. And I was like, whoa, really? Like, I feel like we were just like talking about like pre-release, like pre-launch. We were just like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
It's funny. There's two sides to it, though, because on the one hand, it went by really quick, and on the other hand, it's like, wow, there's been so much change and so many patches we've been through that it actually does feel like a year. So it's funny. It's both at the same time.
Seriously. Time flies. So catching up, cancel the Queen's speech, so the Clockwork Chaos has arrived. Does it really shock anyone that those stupid sex bots were a bad idea?
No.
Not exactly.
This was gonna happen.
Not exactly the biggest twist in the world. What's going on story-wise here? What happened to the speech?
That was great, I thought, by the way. They put the website out, and the next patch is the Queen's speech, right? And, you know, and it kind of looked a little light, and it kind of looked a little lackluster. But you know what? We've had so many great patches this summer. You know, we were able to smooth it over a little bit. But then they started doing graffiti on the website, and then when it actually launched, the whole name of the patch is different. It's not the Queen's speech. It's Clockwork Chaos, and it's completely different than we thought. I thought that was a great move. You know, I love it. It's not often you can actually surprise the community with something with so much data mining that happens and leaks and different things. So I was happy to be kind of, shocked at that.
You could imagine the community looking at that page was like, oh my gosh, there's nothing on here. What are you doing, Guild Wars 2? There's like no events. This is so little here. And then all of a sudden, it's a whole invasion thing and stuff like that. So I was quite surprised as well.
Sort of when Scarlet showed up, she had some control over the sex bots, and we didn't think it was really a good idea to send them back to the IKEA after that, did we?
Yeah, they don't get any refunds on their sex bots, unfortunately. We've been destroying them all week. In fact, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Scarlet's really cool. She flies in there. She's kind of got this like Harlequin vibe, right? Yeah, she's just crazy and just hates us.
Anyone notice the lip sync? Like she wasn't talking the whole time.
Yeah.
During the cutscene. Was that intentional? Was it like pre-recorded and she was just standing there being ominous, or?
I don't know. Where's the lip flap? Right? We got a couple patches ago. We got lip flap, and there was no lip flap in these cutscenes, unfortunately. But it was still fun.
Lip flap. Love that word.
Yeah.
It's a funny word. People are like, what is lip flap? Blah, blah, blah. All right. So Scarlet attacks. I'm hearing good things about the main story, though. Would you say it's really well done?
I enjoyed it for someone who didn't really have much interest into the living story. I actually enjoyed this living story.
Yeah, you usually don't care about it.
Yeah, I usually don't. And this one, for some reason, I paid attention to it. And Lord Farron was funny, and I enjoyed the whole
without any spoilers. What drew you in? What drew you in though? Like without spoiling it.
Scarlet had a lot to do with it. The way how she was like giggling and acting, it reminded me of Harley Quinn from the Joker. I think that's what you were saying. Yeah, Bogart.
She's definitely got that vibe. Yeah,
she has that vibe going on, and that crazy Joker vibe. I thought it was great. The voice actor, even though the character design itself, I don't really like how she's designed, like the features that she has. I don't know. It seems kind of weird, but the voice acting is really good, and that's what kind of brought me in. And of course, Hobotron. Everyone loves Hobotron, and he's actually in the living story as well. For people who actually know who Hobotron is.
Yeah, what's going on in the world? Portals are opening up. Is the Burning Legion invading? What's going on?
No.
So
no, and actually, I have some beefs with how they implemented this. So what happens is every hour on the hour, an invasion will happen on one zone in the world, right? And it pops up on your right-hand corner of the screen. And if you rush there, there's a bunch of events that you have to kind of take care of, and it's basically a whole bunch of bad guys spawn into random areas. You fight them back, and then eventually, after about half hour to 40 minutes or so, if you're successful, you can draw Scarlet out and you can fight her. The problem was it's a very scheduled thing. If you don't get there right when the invasion starts, you're going to be put in overflow. And if you're in an overflow within the first 10 minutes of the invasion spawning, it's okay because the invasion will spawn in the overflow. But if you're like if you're on the 11th minute mark,
nothing happens.
You miss the invasion for the full hour, and you have to wait till the next hour goes. So it's a very scheduled thing, and it also takes quite a bit of time, right? You have to have at least 30 to 40 minutes, chunked out to do it. So I felt that this patch, having so many achievements tied to these invasions, was a little bit of a different experience for me. I was used to being able to just log in and say, all right, how much time do I have? What achievements can I go after in this time period, and just kind of go with the flow. Whereas this felt a lot more scheduled.
Is it not nice? Like, I don't know. Is it not nice to sort of have that little bit of diversity though with certain things, like to maybe mix it up, and because you've got the opposite of that with almost everything else that kind of goes in the world. So I don't know, kind of putting you on a schedule, making you kind of like get there on the hour and kind of be prompt. I mean, it's every hour. It's not like it's a one-time event.
And people are very active. Everyone's like kind of waiting in Lion's Arch and talking with each other. It was crazy seeing.
Have you missed it a lot
without culling? No, I haven't. Like I'll be like, sometimes you're doing stuff, you're alt tabbed or anything like that. I have two screens, so I'm like doing something else, waiting for it to spawn on the top right hand corner because you can actually see when it spawns. And I never miss it within 10 minutes. If you check it back every 5 minutes, you should be fine. And
have you missed it, Rich?
Achievements.
It took a while to get into the swing of it. My concern over it, or my negativity towards it, it was just my initial experience. The first day, when no one really knew how it worked exactly, I missed the first two invasions completely, even though I was online, right? And then the third one I actually got in, was halfway through it, and actually I didn't DC. It was a Guild Wars 2 critical error. I got logged out, and I go back in. I can't get into the same overflow, so I wind up missing like 3 missions in a row. Now,
how long is it?
It takes about 45 minutes or so.
It takes around.
But if you get booted and you can't get back into the same zone you were in, or you can't get into a zone where the invasion is spawned, like
that time is lost basically.
That time was lost. So my initial experience was a little bit off-putting. Now that I've gotten into the swing of it, I'm doing it quite regularly, and it's very lucrative and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a snooze fest. It's just a bunch of people like spamming a whole bunch of mobs. But the other frustrating thing for me is I'm trying to get the final achievement, which is you have to do the invasion in 13 different zones. But there's no way to track in-game which zones you've done or not. And, so I started
we got a notepad?
Yeah, I had to get a notepad, and here's the crazy thing. We found out like just a couple days ago that there was an issue with it, that if you were doing certain types of the dynamic events during the invasion, they weren't counting towards credit. So there were some I thought I had done, and I had to go back and redo. So I don't know. Overall, it's not my favorite of the content that's come out.
Yeah, those achievements are quite a doozy. If you're not online for about pretty much the whole day, you're not going to get those achievements because they kind of go into a cycle. And sometimes, if you're on in a certain amount of the day, like from 1 to 3 p.m. or something like that, there's no way you're going to be getting those unless the rotation goes in your favor. Because sometimes the maps will just repeat, and you already have the ones that are repeating. So those were kind of hard. For me, I just played right through and got them. But I can see how that was an issue. And that was
map visual never logs out ever.
No, 24 hours,
24/7 logged in. He's remoting in on his iPhone. So there's a new instance at the end of all this, right?
Playhouse Disney.
Is it a full dungeon?
What?
Playhouse Disney.
It's called Playhouse, the Playhouse or whatever.
Is
Not
it a full
dungeon?
Is it just a boss fight?
It's a long boss fight, I guess. There's like about 3 stages to Scarlet, and you have to fight her about 3 times in like 3 different areas in the Crown Pavilion. And you start by saving Lord Farron, and then you have to save like Hobotron and the Minstrel. I don't know what to call him. It's funny. Minstrel, okay, yeah, because I never really paid attention to him.
He has a name. He has a name, but the Minstrel is fine.
Yeah.
The Minstrel.
La 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 la. That's what he does.
How is he? How difficult is it? You know, how's the boss design? Are ArenaNet getting better?
I enjoyed it. It's not something I want to run over and over again, you know. But I just enjoy the way Scarlet acts. I just enjoy it. You know, it's the voice acting is great, and that's what makes me want to play it. And I ended up enjoying it. Something I will keep going back into over and over again to experience over and over again. Not so much. You know, it's not because it's bad or anything. It's just because it's just like
once you've done it.
Yeah. It's very easy, and it's one of those things you go in to get your achievements, and then you're pretty much done with it. Like over the summer, there's been a couple things that I really enjoyed because they were really hard, at least for me. Like some of the bosses in the Queen's Gauntlet, like doing Liadri, I had to really work on that. I probably gave that like 50 different attempts, and then also. A couple patches ago, they had the candidate trials tier 4, which was just the butt kicking, and I love having to tweak my build, look at my gear, play with different friends, and try to figure things out. And this is more of a living story instance that they want everybody to be able to kind of complete, and that's fine. And the boss mechanics are interesting, but overall it's a very easy dungeon, so it's not something you're going to do over and over again.
As much as I love seeing like what we're all getting, so we can talk about it on the show here, I do like surprises as well. Bit of a bait and switch this time.
Yes.
Do you hope they do that more?
Absolutely. I love that. There's something to be said to being able to look at what's coming up next, but I was always disappointed in when I played World of Warcraft because like MMO Champion would have everything data mined before the patch would even hit live, and so it almost like the fun of a new patch was almost the couple weeks before when you read it all online, and then you came in and you're like, all right, you're going through the motion. So I totally love this switch up and being able to be shocked and be like, whoa, what is this? That was awesome. I definitely hope that they do more of that.
Jump back to the achievements real quick. Would you guys both sort of say like it seemed like that's a big point for both of you guys? So do you think if anyone out there is going to complete all the achievements, like this is definitely the one you want to kind of rack up?
Yeah, like all right. So people have different views of achievements. Say like, oh, some people think achievements should you should be able to log in and do it right away. But really, achievements it takes some time. You know what I'm saying? The people who earn all of the achievements are the ones who earn them, right? That's why they're achievements, right? And these take some time. These definitely take some time. Most of them are kind of easy, but the one with the 13 maps it's not necessarily as hard, but it's very time consuming, right? And I don't know, like the 13 maps might have been a little bit much because you kind of have to wait until the next map each time, and I can really see if someone's not playing 24/7 or logging in like okay, the maps are going in rotation, I'm just gonna log in a few hours later and log in and actually seeing what maps are spawning, then there's no way they're gonna get them. Eventually they might if they're lucky with the map rotation, but I can see how it could be a problem.
And
how is that?
To be fair, also you don't need to do that really heinous one that we're talking about to get the meta achievement done.
Yeah,
that's not required. So I think they've done a really good job over the patches of saying, hey, you need to do 12 out of 15 of these achievements to get the little reward, and then there's like 3 or 4 or 5 things that are really tough or really time consuming or something that people might not want to do. So it's completely optional. So
do you have to do that to get the infinite sex bot tonic?
No, you don't have to do that one. You have to do all the other ones, though, I believe.
So for the people who can't do the hard achievements, they have something new that they're doing, is the daily achievements, right? So in the dailies, they have an option that you can do like a daily event, and that would count towards your meta event, achievement progress. So if every day you do that little meta event daily, then it counts to your active bar, so you can get the sex bot thing.
And turning into a sex bot. Sex bot is cool. I almost said sex box, which is totally different. That's pretty cool because you can still use your weapons and your abilities while you're in that form, which I thought was awesome.
Right, that was the best thing ever. But
I know where you're going.
30-minute cooldown. 30-minute cooldown, only 5 minutes. Come on, man. I understand they don't want everyone walking around with
too much sexy up in here.
Yeah, but man, it's infinite for a reason. I know it's infinite use, not necessarily infinite in time, but it's probably one of the best tonics, and because you can use your skills and stuff like that. I've been looking for something like that.
Can I just say something a little bit weird here? So the sex bots, they turn into these twisted abomination things, these horrors or whatever. I forget exactly what they're called, but they're under the control of Scarlet now. So they kind of like explode and they become half demonic, half robotic, whatever. But the art on these objects, like while you're fighting these creatures, you can catch glimpses of either the bust or the behind of these sex, and it's just the strangest thing to see this huge, awful, demonic creature, and it's got this butt like sitting there, hanging in the air. It's very off-putting. I don't know how I feel about that.
I know how I feel about it. All right, let's move on to features. Let's move on to the features. The big one, of course, being the removal of culling in PvE. So how is it going? Lagfest or smooth sailing?
It depends.
On?
It's going to totally depend from person to person. What your internet is like, what your PC is like, what are your settings set to, what are your other graphics settings set to. Me personally, I've put them up pretty high. And I think I have it on high, and I think there's an option to get it to like very high or something like that. But
yeah.
For the most part, I'm getting pretty good frames, and it's just I posted some screenshots to my Facebook and my Google Plus page. I put a gallery up with the removal of culling, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous seeing that many people on the screen and fighting at once. I know some people have different issues with lag. You can try different things like turning off the shadows or the post-processing, and but you just basically have to tweak it to figure out what's right for your system and what kind of performance you want to have in the game. But it's great to be able to have those controls at your fingertips.
Yeah, it's about time, really. I don't want the game telling me what I can and can't put on my screen. Now people have an option. So if people want culling, if people don't want that many people on the screen, they can choose that. And then for the people who have a good system, they can be like, okay, put everything up. I want to see all the peoples. And I think that was pretty great.
What's Divinity's reach like at the moment? No culling plus a major event. How's that?
Not many people in Divinity's reach.
I know. Sadly, Divinity's reach kind of emptied out as soon as these invasions happened. And it stinks because the Queen's Jubilee patch is still, that content is still there. So, but a lot of people have moved on, and the people that didn't do the achievements down in there are having a hard time kind of getting groups together to fill it, which is unfortunate because they've all moved on to the invasion part of it. But Lion's Arch is still, buzzing with a lot of people, and again, it's amazing to run through. You just go, I can't believe I wasn't seeing all these people before, because it's a stark contrast. It really is.
That's crazy. 1 year later, it looks like culling is really gone. So what do you think? Massive improvement to the game overall? Does it just feel a lot different?
It feels good to actually see people. That's for sure. It just doesn't feel like crazy different or anything like that, but it's nice to not have people disappear right in front of you. It's just great, especially when you're doing like events, and if you need to see like if they have a bomb over their head or some type of animation, so you can move away and stuff like that. Sometimes that just disappears with culling, and it gets really just awkward to control.
Other than that, the WW experience gain, that's been increased. They made the ability system simpler as well, right?
Yeah, I think this is a minor change, but basically they made it so the number of points you had equals your character rank, right? So you start with 1 point at rank 1 rather than starting with 0 points at rank 1 and it always being a little bit off. So they adjusted that just to give it parity. Yeah, and they're making it so that you can gain levels, more rapidly in World versus World, which is always a good thing.
And Matt, did you get your birthday gift?
Oh yes, I did for for my first Azura.
Hey,
I made a Guardian Azura way back, and that was the first character I leveled. That's pretty much it. That's all I have for the birthday gift. All my other characters were made later on.
No birthday gift, Richie? Nothing? No.
I got no birthday gift. Funny little story to that, though. For the free trial weekend, I got access to the account that went defunct, and so I got the birthday present on the character I made during launch that I can no longer access. So that was cool.
That's kind of ridiculous. All right. The achievement system also getting some new improvements. It now shows on the character select screen in a pretty cool way, doesn't it?
Yeah, in the main menu, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the main menu now, it has the living story achievements, which is the achievements that you could earn right now that are going away, and then you have your dailies and your monthlies. I thought it was pretty cool. It also shows a time where your dailies are going to be ending, which is pretty good. I don't know. I rather my other screen, really.
No. The other screen has a glaring hole where a badge should be for me getting a legendary, but it's empty. So I much prefer the new.
But I like seeing it. I got one.
That's the difference.
Yeah, I got a legendary.
Any major class changes for either of you guys? We usually don't go into too deep into the classes, but nothing major.
Nothing major, no.
No, there wasn't. It wasn't a big class tweaking patch at all.
All right, finally, there's some shiny blue Zodiac weapon skins in the gem store for a limited time. Check these out.
These have gotten a lot of negative feedback, and I don't know, because some of these skins are throwbacks to Zodiac weapons in Guild Wars 1, and they've updated them. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of people, especially the folks who love Guild Wars 1, they just give these skins a real hard time. And I've compared the weapons in both games, and I don't know. I think these look pretty good personally. Plus Rhino Hammer.
What's the main?
How can you go wrong with Rhino Hammer?
Yeah, really.
What's
the main gripe
though?
The main gripe is that it just you ruined it. It looked great in Guild Wars 1, and you updated it, and it doesn't look as good. And I don't know.
What about the Warhorn, though? The Warhorn. Have you seen the Warhorn?
The Warhorn's a little controversial.
It's a chicken, and where you blow is where the chicken's butt is. Yeah. Insert joke here. So
it's a cock horn. Basically.
And you blow in it. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Sponsor.
Have you guys tried Netflix? No? What are you waiting for? Cockhorns? I don't think so. Froghorn, cockhorn, leghorn. Go over to Netflix.com. Sign up today. Use the URL Netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. That's all you got to do. Sign up today for a free 30-day trial. If you guys have not checked out Netflix streaming service, I really don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know how anybody else watches TV or movies in 2013 without Netflix. I seriously don't, because I don't have time to watch stuff in real time. Screw TV. I like the TV, like the thing that displays it, but not necessarily how it's delivered. Check it out. They got Breaking Bad, Orange is the New Black, Arrested Development, Hunger Games, all kinds of stuff. Tons. I still haven't watched The Dictator. I got to watch The Dictator. You guys seen The Dictator?
I have not seen The Dictator.
I have not either. I really want to watch it, though. It kind of looks pretty funny. Check it out today. Support GameBreaker by supporting our sponsors, and we are super happy to have Netflix on as a sponsor, making this show and all of the others here on the GameBreaker network possible. Hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial. Just make sure you use the URL netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. Sign up, make an account, download the app to your iOS device, your iPad, your Roku, your Apple TV, countless other devices. Chromecast, if you guys have checked that one out yet, it's a great little device. It's super cheap, too. I've been highly recommending that one. $35 for a Chromecast is probably the best device out there, I think, right now for the price. Have you guys seen the Chromecast? Either of you guys yet? No. Ooh, I got the box. You guys check this out.
It's in the box.
Great device. It's called a Chromecast. It's by Google. It looks like a USB stick, right? But it's an HDMI stick actually. So you buy this thing for $35. You plug it into your HDMI port on your television. It instantly it sets up a Wi-Fi network, and then you instantly have access to stream YouTube, Netflix, Google Play, anything on your Chrome web browser. Use your phone as your remote. Use your iPhone as your remote. It's awesome. Nice. It's awesome. It's $35. Super awesome. Wow. Yeah, it's totally cool.
I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, it's great. No, I highly recommend it. I've been using it a ton. We have it here in the office. So check it out. Sign up. And it's what's up? What's up, Matt?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, usually your thing is Audible, and you usually talk about Ready Player One. I actually finished that book.
How good? How good?
How good? It's pretty good. It's pretty
really
good.
Gamers would love it, right?
I would want to see the movie. Man, there's so many references. I feel can't see the movie costing like billions of dollars.
I feel like it's in negotiation or something. I may have read that somewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I agree. Movie would be awesome. Check it out. Go over to Netflix. Netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. All right. Super Adventure Box. Super Adventure Sex Box is returning on September 3rd. No, it's not. Super Adventure Box is returning. With the original world, and you're going to get a brand new one. So you guys excited about this? I mean, everybody liked the first incarnation. Hell yeah!
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Is this definitely the best? Is this still the highlight of the year?
Yeah, for me it is. Every time Super Adventure Box comes out, I'm like, I got nothing to do for the next 2 weeks. I'm ready to go. I love the skins. I love everything about Super Adventure Box. Like, yeah, it's even the Flash game. Hopefully, they'll come up with a part 2 to that Flash game. Maybe, probably not. But yeah.
If anyone didn't see the first round Super Adventure Box, take a look at the screenshot. It's literally a retro-styled game that lives inside of Guild Wars 2, which blew everybody's mind the first time around. It did go away for a while, so you may have missed it. That's why I'm bringing it up. Most of you have seen it because it hit the interwebs and kind of went crazy.
And you will be able to play World 1 and get the old achievements, so you're fine.
Yep.
You haven't played it.
Does anybody know of any other game that's ever done anything like this? Because I really don't know of any.
No, and I remember thinking at the time when it first came out, there were moments when I was playing this with my buddies where we just kept on voice chat. We kept saying to each other, "What is this? What are we doing? This is insane!" Like we knew it was an April Fool's kind of thing, and we knew that they actually put it in. Well, and then it surprised us that it actually is in the game, and then we just how involved it was mind-blowing to me. It was full levels, secrets, unlockables, achievements, rewards, music. It was everything put in. It was a game within a game, and it was amazing. Now I realize. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I realize it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but man, the people who love it really love it, and they're super excited that it's coming back.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, like you said, it was like April Fools that they dropped this, and I remember when we were going to run the story, and Quinlan, our EAIC, was just like totally didn't believe it, like just literally thought it was a troll April Fool's joke, and I was like, no, this is in the game. They're like, what? Like the whole entire staff was just like, what? This is really in the game? Like, it's really in the game. It's kind of cool too because it's so far away from all the heavy, serious lore with dragons and undead and everything. Like it's. I don't know the community's reaction. I don't know if anybody that doesn't like this. What's the community's reaction been to it returning?
Some people don't like it. There are some out there. Really? Shame on them, but there are some out there. Yeah.
what is there?
I'm sorry. I love it too
it?
much, man. It's a fun. Like I guess people
is it
looking
an immersion
at it,
breaker.
Yeah, it might be something like that, or it's a fun patch. It's not for the hardcore or whatever. And I'm a hardcore gamer, and I love me some Super Adventure Box. Sometimes I want fun, and of course, I love chiptune, and I love 8-bit stuff, retro-looking things. So I'm all ears.
All about it. Matt Visual's all about it.
All about it.
All right, so on the features front, we've known about this, but we're getting the ability to craft ascended weapons. The gear progression, guys, it burns. It burns.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, oh, I got to replace all my weapons.
Yes, weaponsmith, artificer, and huntsman are getting their skill cap raised to 500. What do you think about the whole thing with ascended weapons?
Oh boy, this is a
Oh,
touchy
boy.
Very,
Very,
we knew it was
very,
coming.
very.
We knew it was coming eventually.
Yeah. Man, we've talked about this quite a bit. Ascended weapons. Some people feel like this is a gear treadmill, right? And of course, ascended armor is coming out later on as well. People think this is a gear treadmill, like ArenaNet's going to release this every 6 months or something like that, which they said they won't, right? This was already planned in the game, right? They were going to release ascended gear, you know, for like an extra tier. And what, you get like what, extra 14 attack on these weapons? Like it's small, but it's for the people who want that extra damage, they're going to go for it, right? I like it because I don't say I like gear treadmill, but I like to go for something extra and get that extra damage for my characters, you know. And some people, you know, look at it like, oh, now all this money I spent on all my alts, all my exotics are worthless now. Not necessarily. They still do quite a bit of the damage, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, you might feel compelled to go for the ascended gear, but if you don't want to, if that doesn't excite you, if you don't want the new skins, you don't want to craft up, you don't want to spend the materials, then don't. There's no content in the game that is going to be barred from you if you don't get these new ascended weapons, right? You know, because people can do anything in the game now. It's not going to suddenly, you know, not be the case, you know, next week. So, you know, and we went through this debate back in November when they first put out, you know, the first of the ascended gears. This is going to be the start of a gear treadmill. Well, look how slowly they've ramped this out. I mean, we've had just a few slots for, you know, months and months and months and months, and here's the next step in that. And eventually they're going to put out armor. And if, you know, if what ArenaNet has said to this point is, you know, is accurate, then they're going to stop at that point. The ascended gear is where it stops. They feel like there wasn't a level of gear between the exotic and the legendary that felt like some people can, you know, kind of go through. It is a little bit challenging to get. It is a little bit expensive to get, but it is not that, you know, that insane grind that is a legendary. And so once that tier is in place, you know, if they stop there, then there's no gear treadmill. So yeah, it's interesting, and I can't wait to see what all the different skins look like, because that's really the most exciting part.
You saw the rifle, right?
I saw the rifle.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yep.
You mentioned
kind of like the Bifrost. Go on.
No, the crafting I think is really interesting. So weaponsmith, artificer, and huntsman are getting their skill caps raised to 500 to make these new weapons. But it's kind of bizarre because they're only raising these 3 crafting professions. None of the others are getting a raise, which, again, I don't know if I've ever seen this happen in an MMO before. Usually they all go at the same time.
It's because it's only for weapons. That's why. And when the armor comes out, that's when they're going to raise everything else.
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting if you're thinking of it from a typical MMO standpoint, right? From like if World of Warcraft tried to do that, oh my God, people would go nuts, right? Like, what are you doing? You can't just give engineering a new tier and nothing else. It's just how the game, you know, is structured. It's just different. Every character can have all of the trade skills maxed out if you really want to, and you just switch between them with a gold fee. And there's no, you know, there's none of that. Well, you have to be a weaponsmith in order to, you know, do this particular content, or it gives you a, you know, significant bonus to do certain content. So it really doesn't make sense if you're used to a lot of other MMOs, but in Guild Wars 2 it doesn't matter that they do this. It really doesn't.
So how is Matt? How's everybody faring with this? Because they said so the legendary weapons are going to get a stat boost and an offensive infusion to slow. Which they've said that they said that they would do this to legendaries to make the newest set
every time. Right. So now my greatsword is getting a stat boost for free, and plus a offensive infusion. So I can put in my agony resistance as well. So that's pretty good as well.
That's not even all of it though, right? Because you're going to get out of combat. You'll be able to choose different stat combos for your weapon.
Yes. It's so now if you have your legendary, a lot of people complain, oh, why do I always have power, vitality, and toughness? You know, this kind of sucks. Now you're going to be able to switch it. So if you're going with
your legendary will always kick ass.
Yes, exactly. And this is something which is really cool. That when the legendary other gear comes out with rings, amulets, armor, you're going to be able to switch that. all your stats. So you're gonna, if you have a legendary, right, full legendary set, you'll be able to do any build you want.
Yep.
So it's gonna be great. I think I talked about this last week. So you're gonna be able to do any build you want.
And on top of that, they're also talking about an aesthetic upgrade as well, right?
Yeah.
For some of them, for some of the skins.
Oh, just some of them, not all of them. Okay, so some of them are also. Have they shown any of those images yet? Do we know what they're going to look like?
No, I saw the scepter.
There was one screenshot, I think. I don't know which one that was.
It was the scepter. The Metropolis. I never remember the name for that, even though I want it so badly. I just feel like it's just not worth it because of those charged lodestones. But the scepter's getting upgraded. It's much needed because it doesn't have footsteps. It doesn't have anything. Like, it just looks cool, and that's it. And it's, when you see something like the Volcanus and other skins that are out there, the legendaries are like, ugh. Compared to it, some of them are like, ugh, compared to that. I'm glad I have my greatsword because nothing looks like my greatsword.
Richie, is this making you salivate now? Are you gonna go for the legendary? Is it just getting more and more enticing?
Gary, I've been actively pursuing a legendary since launch day. It's the precursor that I don't have.
That's it? That's all you don't have?
Well, I mean, I have almost every. I mean, I have 2 million karma. I have 400 skill points. I have a lot of materials. So if I got a precursor, or I farmed up enough money to get a precursor, I could probably have a legendary fairly quickly. But I'm stuck in that kind of nebula where it's like, do I pull the trigger on a legendary right this second, or do I wait to hear more about the next round of them? Because you'd hate to blow all of the materials on an old legendary from a year old, only for them to announce next week, hey, here's this new batch of stuff. So it's a tough situation to be in, a year into launch.
Yeah, it's like buying the 4 and then the 4S comes out if you burned.
That's right.
Oh gosh.
Finally, Magic Find is being removed as an equipment stat. So it's not going to be an account-wide bonus that you can boost with Essences of Luck, which can be salvaged.
No, it's now going to be.
Oh, it's now going to be. It's now going to be an account.
Yes. Interesting. Yeah, so the Magic Find stat's going to be removed from the gear, which is great. Down with the Magic Find leeches. Sorry. And so you're going to be able to salvage blues and greens and get these Essences of Luck, which when you consume them, they give you account-wide Magic Find bonuses. We're assuming it's going to be permanent. I know there's some debate about that. I don't know. We don't have all the detail.
No, I don't think it's going to be permanent. I always found this kind of weird how they're doing this. Like, they say they're taking it away and putting it account-wide. Are they going to give us a permanent boost from the beginning? And then these Essence of Luck are going to be like something that you can just pop, every time you're going to farm or something like that.
No, so we don't know exactly. This is how I think it's going to work. I think so. They're going, and Gary's going to talk about this in a second. They're going to, if you have gear on it with Magic Find, you're going to be able to double-click it and choose a new stat combination for that gear, right? So that you still have the gear and you don't feel like you kind of wasted it. Now, you're going to be able to, like I said before, salvage greens and blues, and there's going to be a chance to get these Essences of Luck. I believe when you click them, it will give you a permanent increase to your account-wide Magic Find, right? We already have account-wide Magic Find in form of, the achievement bonuses. I think it's going to add to that. And I think over time, what's going to happen is you're going to need more and more Essences of Luck to get that number to actually go up. So you might need, as your Magic Find gets up there, 100%, 200%, or whatever, you might need like 1,000 Essences of Luck before you can get your, you can go up to 101% or whatever. So we don't know exact numbers yet, but I think that's how they're going to handle it.
The Celestial Gear bonuses will just get Magic Find removed, right?
Yeah, and I know at least one friend who's a little upset by that. I mean, it's not. Celestial Gear has all the stats on it, and it includes Magic Find, right? And so with this change, you don't get to double-click it and choose a new stat. You just lose the Magic Find. So technically, it's a nerf, so to speak. So if you spent the money for Celestial Gear and Magic Find is part of that, then you will actually have less. But I don't really see what they could do except for maybe give you a couple points of stats somewhere else that wouldn't really matter. I don't know.
So what do you think they're gonna do? What do you think they're gonna do with sigils and runes? I mean, so sigils and runes that provide Magic Finder are gonna automatically be changed by ArenaNet, and what does that mean? Like, I mean, that could potentially possibly lead to some issues. I mean, but we don't really know what they're gonna change it to.
That's exactly right. We don't know what they're going to change it to. They might choose some sort of new effect that we've never seen before. It might be good. It might not be. They might, roll them into another effect. I haven't really seen the details on that. But you're right. They're not. From what we know at this point, you're not going to be able to double-click those like the gear and choose a different rune or whatever. Those are just going to change.
What about Magic Find infusions? Because that's also a thing.
The utility slot for the Magic Find infusions will still work. They will still exist. So
it's pretty much the gear. It's all the gear. It's not boost consumables, banners, and things like that. They'll be staying all the same. It's just the gear that ArenaNet needs to address. All right.
That's right.
So overall, the Super Adventure box is coming back. Magic Find gear is being removed. Is everybody happy with that? I think so. Yes, for the most part.
Huge patch. If it was just Super Adventure box, people would be like going crazy. And we didn't even mention Super Adventure Box comes with the Tribulation mode, which is basically the hard mode. And they announced on the forum just a little while ago that it's going to be super hardcore, and they don't expect a lot of people to be able to beat it. And the Super Adventure Box weapon skins come in different colors if you beat it in Tribulation mode.
Whoa!
So you can really show off that, hey, I did this. So I think that's going to be amazing.
Oh, dude, I'm wasting hours on this then. Wasting hours on this. Oh my gosh. Different colors. Everyone wants different colors.
Everyone wants different colors. I'm sure everybody's seen this as well. ArenaNet released this awesome infographic detailing the first year of Guild Wars 2. It was pretty cool. I liked the way they did this. 3.5 million copies sold. Fastest selling MMO in history. 460,000 concurrent players. 36% human. 13% char. 13% char. Man. 16% warrior, 10% mesmer and engineer. Risen. Thrall mobs have killed over 20 million players. 18.9 average days between each release. Interesting stuff here. A lot of interesting nice little stats.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Of course, everyone would like to see, what are the concurrent numbers now, or maybe month by month or something like that, so we can really, see. But they're still impressive numbers. Take them for what they are. They don't give you the whole picture, but it's a very cool graphic.
So people say that number with everyone online for 460,000. They say that it's like right when the game began, right at launch.
It's possible.
It's possible. Hey.
It could be like, they could have took that number like, how many people online ever, that could be that number. Maybe it couldn't be because like they're saying that it was like 3.5 million copies sold. And I'm assuming that they're using that number as like a timestamp maybe, and around that time that they sold that many copies, they had that many people online. I would hope so. I mean, I don't know how many people hold on each server, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and we got to keep in mind it hasn't even released in China yet, so we can expect a huge boon to these numbers once that happens. Yeah, it's going to go crazy.
All right, so unfortunately, though, there was a bit of a screw-up that came with this patch as well, right? We came to Karma. So the patch hit, and people were surprised to see that suddenly the Karma boosters no longer worked with consumable Karma items. Why is this a big deal? People save up their items, right, Brett?
Right. What happens is what we do is we save all our Karma jugs and sips and dips and
drips and drops
and everything, and we do it all at one time, and we pop all the boosts, the 50%, the ice cream boost, the guild banner boost, like everything all in one. Some of them don't even work anymore, but some of them still do. And what we do is it gives a certain percentage more when you open one of those jugs. So what they did is they didn't mention it at all, and then they patched it. So we were opening it, and I'm like, what's going on here? So they reverted it back. They reverted back, reimbursed the Karma, right? I didn't pop any of my stuff yet, so I don't know how the reimbursement went. I heard a couple people got the reimbursement of their Karma. So now into September 3rd, you can use your boost and get all your jugs out. The maximum amount of karma you get.
So yeah, a pretty unexpected change. Effectively, people lost a ton of karma. Community lead Regina Wenobra jumped on the forums, had this to say. She said, we intended to message this change ahead of time to be fair to everyone. However, this did not happen, and we apologize for not giving you advance notice. The lack of advance warning resulted in some people losing out on karma that they would have otherwise gained by using boosts with the karma they saved up. We're really sorry about the frustration this caused, and we will make every effort in the future to make you aware of changes like this ahead of time. So the karma change has been temporarily rolled back until September 3rd. So consider that your advance notice.
Yeah. And keep in mind that this is this long term. This is a good change overall, right? They're actually going to make it so that the karma that comes out of these things is going to be increased, not as much as if you had all the boosts on, but it's going to be increased, and it's going to make it so you don't save them anymore. Right now, you get them and you click them, and you don't have to have like 5 inventory spaces taken up by drips, drops, sips, and all that kind of thing. Because what Matt was describing before, it wasn't really a fun mechanic. It wasn't fun to hoard up hundreds and hundreds of these things and then get all your boosts together so that you can drink them all and get carpal tunnel syndrome as you click them. So I like the fact that once this change goes live, any kind of karma, potion that we get, we're just going to consume immediately, and we can just move on with our lives.
Right. We don't have to worry about, hoarding them into one space and just clicking
and
taking up more bank space.
And being the awesome devs over at ArenaNet, so the people who blew their karma, ArenaNet's going to be reimbursing people with as close to the correct amount as karma as possible. So,
yeah. No, overall, I mean, it was a mistake. They should have given us warning on that, but they handled it really well, in my point of view. Now, I didn't get affected by it, so some people might have some sort of nightmare support ticket going on right now. But I'm sure for most people, it's been handled very well.
Yeah, I had like over 2,000 drips of karma just stacked in there that I had to use. So.
I think it's worth noting, just so everybody is aware of this. So it's definitely worth noting that during this temporary rollback period of this karma change, the karma booster from the gem store specifically states it won't work with consumable karma items. So, definitely.
That's not accurate.
That is not accurate. It's just a text error.
That's right.
It is just a text error. Yeah. Getting ready for the next
September
patch.
3rd. That's
exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So. I don't know. All right. So, I don't know. We've got some concerns over the past about how Arena could kind of do an account-by-account basis with karma. I mean, the karma reimbursement seems to indicate that they definitely have the ability to kind of roll back on an account-by-account basis individually. We kind of talked about some of this stuff when there was possible ban hammers we were talking about floating around. And this kind of indicates that they actually have the ability to do this because they're going to be rolling back people individually to where they actually were, not doing like a server rollback.
Yeah, it's interesting. We constantly are trying to speculate on what do they have the ability to do via support, and what don't they have the ability to do? Because sometimes it's up to a technical issue why they can't do certain things. But yeah, if they're able to kind of fairly accurately pinpoint who drank what karma and reimburse them, then it seems like the tools have gotten a little bit more robust.
All right, last of this week, Colin Johansson has confirmed that we talked about this before. The Ascended Armor, so he will be getting Ascended Armor in 2013. Yay or nay? Yay, yay, nay, yay, 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 yay.
Yay!
But here's interesting. So he also, they're not going to. Colin said that they're not going to be at Gamescom, or not a major presence at Gamescom, I should say. PAX Prime, totally another story. So if you guys are going to PAX, you're going to be at PAX. Apparently, something's going on. Something big was teased, but he was clear this was not an expansion. So that's the only thing we kind of know. No expansion announcement from PAX.
Dang it.
So any idea what it could be though? Because it sounds like it's going to be pretty big.
They contacted me, said they were going to fly me out to PAX, right? So that's how I'm going to PAX. That's why I was mentioning why if you guys were going to PAX so I can meet you guys. He said exclusive content. That's all he told me. So I don't even have the inside word of what they're going to be showing. And they did say it in the post that they did on the forums, not the forums, on the site. There's going to be exclusive content and people are going to be able to play, whoever's there. And you don't have to have a pass. So if you guys are going to PAX or live in the Seattle area, you guys can actually go there and actually play it.
So that's what that means. So basically, you're going to get to go there, go play some content at PAX that is never going to have. No one else is going to get to play it. No one else is going to get to see it.
I don't know if it's exclusive to me because they said exclusive content on the page. So I'm like, oh, so it's not really exclusive to
PAX. Well, it's exclusive to PAX.
Oh.
They're gonna.
Oh yeah.
My guess would be, and this might not be that exciting, but my guess would be that people there will get to play the Super Adventure Box levels before it goes live next week.
Ah, that would be an exclusive to PAX. That would be an exclusive. That definitely would be. Well, Matt, have an awesome time over at the PAX, and I can't wait to hear back what this exclusive content is. So, lucky you, lucky you. Matt Visual, follow him on Twitter at Matt_Visual. Make sure to put that underscore in there. Go. Twitter at Matt_Visual. Richie Procopio, follow him on Twitter at Richie Procopio. And, of course, go over to his YouTube, Bog Alter. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. You can follow me at Gary Gannon, follow GameBreaker TV. Oh, GameBreaker TV's got a whole new look. You guys should go check out the website. That's all good. And for people looking for Hearthstone beta keys, everybody's looking for a Hearthstone beta key. We launched a new website called hearthnation.com. It is a GameBreaker site. Go over to it, and you can enter to win a beta key for Hearthstone. So go check it out today, hearthnation.com. All right, we do the show live every Wednesday at 6 PDT, so come on over for the live show. It's always a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are going to PAX, have fun at PAX. Matt, make sure you bring some Febreze. You know, you just gotta...
Oh, man, you guys are scaring me with all these stinky jokes. Who keep telling me that?
Maybe a mask, a surgical mask or something. Keep one of those in your backpack, you know. Prepare. You don't want to get the PAX pox, man. Everybody comes home with the PAX.
No.
Everybody comes home with the PAX pox. So.
Oh, dude.
And
have a great week.
All your Super Adventure Box dreams go down the drain with the PAX pox.
Have a great time and have fun at PAX. See you guys next week.